What did you say?
Like, there's like a plate there, banana. Right.
He said, it's an illusion of cleanliness. Hey everybody, it's Naya. Welcome back to Naya with a Smile. Hello everybody. It is the end of the month and for once I am on time with my wrap-up videos. Yes. In the month of October, I took an unplanned trip to visit my mom and I only took a couple of books with me, so I didn't read much in October. But come November, I read a few books and I think I have a total of 6 books that I read this month. One of which I DNF'd, which I will talk about in a second. I'm so excited because this month I read some awesome books that I feel like are so incredibly underrated, you guys. Alright, so without further ado, let us get into this. First book I'm going to talk about is one that I want to get over with because it was like probably the biggest disappointment in a book that I've had in a while. I was so hyped for this, you guys, and a lot of the people in the comments had said, you know, this book is kind of like, not that good. Fallen by Lauren Kate. Okay. I don't really know where to start with this one. This cover has been a cover that I've like, when I've been scrolling through books, have passed so many times. And for the longest time, it was a book that I wanted to read and I was super excited about. When the trailer dropped, I was like freaking out and I bought the book and I like impulsively started it. And the book started off really well, but oh my god, it was just like a downhill spiral from page 20. She was sent to this boarding school. It's kind of like a disciplinary boarding school, so it's really strict. It's basically like a jail. And it's in like this old church thing, and of course there's a guy there that she meets that's super mysterious and just absolutely hates her and tries to ignore her but like saves her occasionally. And it's just, there were so many pet peeves for me in this book, like one's like just too many coincidences that are just like, okay, that's not a coincidence, like why would you like do that, like no logical person would do this. It was so cringe-worthy for me, you guys. Like I couldn't even, like I tried so many times to get back into this because I just hate DNFing books and not finishing them. I need to just push through and try, but I honestly couldn't. I just was like, I'm done with this. I cannot stand this. Like I could not read it. Like I was just like, oh my god, like I gave this book a 1 out of 10. I'm gonna toss it on my bed because it's just so sad. Now that we're past the one book that just was an absolute fail for me this month, let's get into the books that blew my mind, okay? First book was a book that I picked up because of you guys, so thank you so much because this has made it onto my favorites list and I would have never, I kid you not, I would have never discovered this book if it wasn't for you guys leaving this recommendations for this in the comments. The fact that this book is self-published and like I never hear about it, but it just blew my mind. Like 11 out of 10 stars, people. Foxhole Cork by Nora Sakovic. Just looking at this book, you know, at first you're probably like, it's probably about like dogs or like foxes or something like this, some animal, right? Because there's like this print thing on it. Oh my god. Okay, this book is about a boy named Neil Jostin. He has been on the run. His father is a famous crime lord called the Butcher, so he comes from a really, really, really bad past. So him and his mom decided to run away one day and they've been on the run since. Recently his mom died, so now he's been alone for quite a few months now. Kind of what ties this book together is a sport called Xe. Now, Neil is an Xe player and I had never heard of the sport of Xe. I don't even know if it's played here in the United States. Maybe it is. I know nothing about sports, so it could be, I don't know. Kind of like, based off how they describe it, like lacrosse, but a lot more violent. So it's like lacrosse, but like people are like slamming into each other and like I picture it in this dome thing and there's basically no rules and it's like a pretty violent, crazy like game. I'm like someone who hates sports. The fact that this book was just blew my mind is insane, okay? He gets recruited by Pamela State University to play for their Xe team. Now their Xe team is kind of famous, kind of has lots of scandals tied to them. There's this other super big Xe player that was like with another team at a different university and he was like famous and known. Him and this other guy were like super famous, like Xe players, but he left that team because of an injury and then now joined this team, which was like a huge scandal. And now Neil is being recruited onto that team and that team is kind of made up of players who are kind of misfits and delinquents and all have like really mysterious kind of backstories and are just really weird characters that you don't read about a lot. What I love the most about this book is there is gay characters in this book. book, and there is like some weird relationships going on, and it's just like everything in this book is so different from what I'm used to reading. And I was recommended this book because I read The Raven Cycle, and you guys said if you love that book, you love the friendship in that book, you love like the mystery and the weirdness around those characters, you will love this book. And I totally see why this book is so different from The Raven Cycle or by Maggie Stiefvater, but at the same time it has that like uniqueness to it that I just loved about The Raven Cycle. Okay, I can go on and on, but okay, the main things that I love about this book, one is that we literally have like a really diverse group of characters. I guess you could say ethnicity wise there is a pretty ethnic diversity in here. Not only that, but the characters speak multiple languages in this book, so that's a really amazing element. There's violence, there's kind of like a you know, drug crime history going on in here too. There's sports, which don't interest me at all, but I was super interested in it because of this book now, and I want to like know all about XC the sport. And on top of that, we have like this writing style that is so like blunt and like so like you start reading it and then it feels like you're there with the characters, and it's just so good, you guys. I can't even explain it. Also, this book on top of that is free on Kindle. Okay, so because it's a self-published book, like it only costs if you buy it in paperback, but besides that, if you want to read it on your Kindle, it's free. So download it and let me know your thoughts, because like seriously, you guys, the way it ends, it's like the author decided to like cut 2 books in half and was just like, okay, we're gonna stop here and pick up in the next book, like just at a random spot. And I'm just like, what? Now the next book I read this month was one that really, again, was amazing, and is actually an extremely popular book in many different countries. It was kind of like one of those phenomenon books, kind of like the Eat, Pray, Love book that was kind of going around, was really popular at some point. This was kind of just an old book on my mom's shelf and went to go visit her, and I was like, okay, I'll give this a try, and I read it, you guys. I read this book in one sitting, and it totally changed my perspective on life. This book has so many life lessons in it, and I think if you're young, or even if you're old, like whatever age you are, you could pull and get something from this book. Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This book follows this boy. He is a sheep herder. I think he's only 13 or 14 when the book begins. He's been able to travel most of his life because he's been a sheep herder, but most of the people in the town that he's from, his parents, you know, have been in one place their whole life. He has always had this dream of seeing the pyramid. So he ends up going on this journey to get to the pyramids, to see the pyramids, and I'm describing this book terribly because there's so many magical elements in this book, and it's kind of about his journey. It takes place over several years, so he's a lot older by the time he gets to the pyramids, and it's just about his journey, and it's kind of about life and decisions. And you know that quote, it's about the journey, not the destination. That is this book. That is where this quote, well, I don't know if it's where the quote came from, but if the quote was a book, it would be this book. So beautiful and cute, and by the end of the book, you're just like kind of smiling and just happy. So I gave this book a 10 out of 10. The next book I read that I'm so excited to share with you, because again, so underrated. Like again, just like the Foxhole Core by Nora Sakovic, like this book, the cover does not do it justice. Like it's not talked about enough, and I want more people to read it because I literally just finished this book 5 minutes ago, and I'm just skipping to this book because I want to talk about it. Immortal City by Scott Spear. Now this book is the most unique take on angels that I have ever read, okay? And you guys know I'm a Hush Hush lover. Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick is probably my #1 angel book, but I'm kind of bumping that book over and putting this book next to it because it is so good and I want to get the next book. The next book is called Natural Born Angels. But the book Immortal City, okay, first of all, this cover, like who decided on this? I'm sorry, but like, no. The book, like, is like, deserves like a Picasso painting on the cover, I kid you not. It's like an urban fantasy book, so it takes place in Los Angeles, and in this Los Angeles, angels are known. Immortals, guardian angels, the angels that save you from accidents, the angels that help you, they're known, okay? And they're celebrities, and they actually charge for their services. You can only be saved by a guardian angel in this book if you have coverage, and covered, like just like you would have insurance coverage, you have like angel insurance, but it's ridiculously expensive and only really rich people can afford them. And these angels, they live amongst, or not really amongst humans, they have kind of like their own area of Los Angeles called Angel City. Anyways, it's amazing. Like I've never read a book like this before. I've never read a book with angels like this before. Angels have always been like something that's mysterious and people don't believe in them, and they're like a supernatural creature, and you know, the world can't know about them. But in this book, the world knows, and they're like idols. They're like celebrities. They have their own like equivalent of the E network, which is like the A network. The book follows Jackson, Godsped, and Maddie. So Maddie is a girl who lives in Angel City. She lives with her uncle. Her parents died when she was younger. So she lives with her uncle and she works in a diner, and she's just kind of like your normal average girl. Jackson Godsped, who this picture again does not do any justice to. He is a famous angel celebrity. He's about to become a guardian. So at a certain age, angels become guardians. They're given someone to protect, right? So people follow them like they're the Kardashians. So Jackson Godsped is about to be the youngest guardian. He's only 18, so he's about to be commissioned, about to pick who he's gonna be protecting, and it's like this huge thing. So anyways, something happens and Jackson meets Maddie and ends up saving her, and they kind of develop this relationship, which has never happened before because angels don't interact with humans, they just save them, and it's just so good, and there's so much mystery and so much suspense and so many like plot twist moments in this book where I'm just like, wait, what? Like, no! Like, what is going on? Like, I threw this book against the wall like 6 times, I kid you not. So incredibly underrated, you guys. Like if you see this book in the bookstore, it is so underrated. Don't let the cover fool you. Get the book. It's amazing. I'm gonna buy the next book in this series and in the Foxhole Court tonight. I decided to pick up and read this next book because of Grace over at Grace with a Book in Her Face. Hi, if you're watching this. But she talked about this book immediately when she told me the synopsis. I'm like, I need to read this book. The Girl in 6E by A.R. Tor. This book is definitely an R++++++ book. This is an adult novel, just a warning. So, you know, there's lots and lots of stuff that little children should not read. Overall though, the story, the murder, mystery, crime aspect of this book is amazing. Okay, so first of all, this book is about a girl. This is what drew me to the book, because Grace explained this and I was like, I need to buy this book. Why have I never heard of this book? So this book is about a girl. She has not left her apartment in 2 years because she has murderous tendencies. So when she sees a person, she just wants to kill them. Like, she's like a psychopath, but like she cannot control her urges. So I guess she's not a psychopath because she can't like lure people and trap them and like wait. Like, no, like as soon as she sees someone, she needs to kill them. So she has locked herself in her apartment. She has not left in 2 years. Now, because of that, the jobs in which she can do are limited. So she ends up becoming a webcam model, and that plays a big part in the book, and that's why I say R+++++. Because of her job, she gets a lot of really weird people or clients that she, you know, performs for. That's kind of her interaction with the outside world, is like these people. And on top of that, she does have therapists and other people that she talks to on the phone that she pays to talk to. And yeah, so with her interactions, there ends up being this sort of crime that starts taking place that she realizes. And we also follow other characters, not just her, characters that are in other cities, characters that are clients of hers, and just like, it's just insane. Like, there's so like, and there's also this whole backstory to her too. Like, before she even got these murderous tendencies, like her whole family was really just, there's a really messed up like backstory there. So incredibly interesting, and like once you get 50 pages in, like I could not stop reading it. That's when like this crime started to like happen and unfold, and all these secrets started to unfold. I finished this book in 1 day, okay? Another 10 out of 10 book, another book that I feel like is a really underrated, but it was really good and I really enjoyed it. Last but not least, I read this book, and I think I've already talked about it a little bit in my past videos, but this book, again, to beyond the expectations I had set for it, and that is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I read this book in like 2 days, just like everything Nicola Yoon's first book. It was just mind-blowing, it was diverse, it was beautiful. I learned so much from reading it too. Like, we touched on things that aren't usually touched on in YA books. What's so interesting about this book too is it's told in first person and in third person, and we have like these little side story history things, and like the format of the book is so different, just like everything was, and but it worked. The diversity in this book is insane. I gave this book a 10 of 10. Again, it was amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, keep reading. I'll talk to you later. Bye!